Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's me, Chef James MacInnis, and today we're going to be doing Royal Mughal-style egg curry with brown onion, perfect with naan. This is the first time on my channel we've ever watched anything by VahChef, VahRehVah. I hope I did not butcher that. So let's hop into this and see what this guy is all about.
One of the best egg curries made in South India are often made with tamarind juice, what we call puli. But today I am going to make this egg curry that is loved by everybody with little bit of Mughalai touch. So for this, first add some oil in a pan, add some cumin seeds. When the oil is hot, add some onions, and we have to brown the onions. The whole idea is, especially in the Mughalai, the flavor of brown onion is very essential. It makes any dish tasty, and especially when you make it into a gravy, it's going to be so good. To help the onions brown better, add some salt. When the onions are some of the best egg curries made in South India are often made with tamarind juice, what we call puli. But today I am going to make this egg curry that is loved by everybody with little bit of Mughalai touch. So for this, first add some oil in a pan, add some cumin seeds. When the oil is hot, add some onions, and we have to brown the onions. The whole idea is, especially in the Mughalai, the flavor of brown onion is very essential. It makes any dish tasty, and especially when you make it into a gravy, it's going to be so good. To help the onions brown better.
Okay, first off, I noticed that he's using red onions. And previous comment in another video of mine, one of you pointed out that all Indian cooking is done with red onions. That's something I hadn't noticed yet. Here in Canada, we have a variety of onions available to us. We use white onions, yellow onions, red onions. We can get specific in the types like Vidalia or Georgia Sweet. We don't just stick to one onion here. And the seasons, although the seasons are pretty close, they don't necessarily all line up. They might be off by a week or two depending on the variety. So one week you might have one onion that's coming to you in peak season, and another week they're coming to you, you get another onion. But generally by the winter, all onions are out of season here. So basically, when you're out of season, the way that the harvest works with us being a winter country is you're going to get a lot of like last year's. And they keep surprisingly a long time when stored correctly. So that's the one thing you got to keep an eye out for is like, here's a good example is potatoes. When you get to like, I'm going to say April, May at the restaurant, the potatoes, you can really tell that they're last year's potatoes, like last year's crop. And then when you get to June, when you start getting fresh potatoes again, it's like you went, like last week was the last week you got last year's crop, and this week was the first week you got this year's crop, and you can completely tell the difference.
Salt. When the onions are slightly brown, add a few pieces of cashew nut. This will help become a nice gravy, but do not add too much. Look at this, I counted 4 or 5 and added. In this, add ginger, garlic, green chili, mint. Okay, now slowly let it cook. Keep cooking till the cashew nut is slightly colored. That's when we're going to make a puree. Not tamarind, we're going to add curd to make this awesome egg curry. Finally add some turmeric. Look at this, how beautiful and nice this is. Transfer it into a blender and make it into a fine paste. In the same pan, add some butter. You can add the masalas. I have coriander powder. I have cumin.
Can someone tell me why he's using butter and not ghee? I've noticed almost every, with the exception of butter chicken, I haven't really seen butter used in Indian cooking. It's usually always ghee.
A little bit of garam masala powder. More importantly, kasuri methi. Kasuri methi, the dried fenugreek leaves, the butter is still melting. So it should not be too hot, otherwise things will burn. So look at this, butter still melting. That means the masalas will not burn and they will just get activated. The aroma, everything will get activated. In this, Once the butter is melted, add curd. Bring this to a nice boil. All the masalas will get cooked. The whole idea is to make a very flavorful curry. Of course, eggs is a super bonus, but now the onion, cashew, ginger, garlic, and mint paste into this. And let this combine and cook together. When the gravy is getting the perfection, the froth like thing will disappear. Just add a little bit of pepper, not much. Pepper powder and egg is a great combination. So just finish it off by adding a little bit pepper. Now,
See, I like how he used the blender. When I cooked my chicken biryani in my last cooking video, and the recipe called for pastes, ginger paste, garlic paste, and pepper paste, I made paste with a pestle and mortar, and it took forever. I love how he's using a blender. I'm going to keep that in mind for next time.
beautiful eggs into the gravy. Aha. Your curry is beautiful and ready. Not just the tamarind based egg curry, you have to try this curd based egg curry. This is just awesome. Finish it off by adding some chopped coriander. That's it. Switch off the flame and this is ready to be served with our favorite naan. This you have to eat in big bites. The egg, the naan, just melting. Wow. The aroma of mint, the browned onions, and this gravy, it's just out of the world. Try this curry. The curd gives slight sourness, but it's not overwhelming. The North Indians, the South Indians, Americans, Australians, around the globe will be able to enjoy this curry as if this is boomba boomba. Absolutely wow.
Wow. Okay, so he had a lot of joy in eating that. I don't think that's the kind of expressions on somebody's face that can be faked. I didn't have. It was a very short video, only 3.5 minutes, so I didn't have a lot of opportunity to interrupt him by throwing in my own 2 cents. So I'm kind of gonna maybe a little longer conclusion now than normal. But one, I like how he did talk about the food after he ate it. When he was eating it, he said how the curd affects the flavor and adds to it and stuff. I That is one of my biggest criticisms of other YouTube chefs is, they eat it or the music starts over and it's like a little montage of them eating at the end, but there's no real like the curd brings out this or the masala does like they kind of leave out tasting notes. And although these weren't the greatest tasting notes, at least he mentioned something. Did seem like a very basic recipe though. And I know that, there's been a couple comments in some of my other videos saying that, it's been a little biryani heavy lately, and that is more of an advanced dish, and recommending me to do some basic dishes. I didn't pick this specifically because of that, but it's nice that it does tie into the fact that it is a more basic dish. But there's some elements in here, like the way that he made the paste at the beginning. So I don't want to say basic in the sense where I'm undermining the talent or the skill. I just want to say basic in the sense that this looks more beginner friendly. Especially using a blender over a mortar and pestle and stuff. Like, this definitely seems more like a beginner friendly video. The hard-boiled, I'm going to assume the eggs are already hard-boiled, and he's just dropping them in and warming them up in the gravy. More of an advanced theoretical question, wondering if you would get any flavor transference if you used raw egg and made your hard-boiled egg in the curry sauce. What kind of egg transference you would get from the sauce through the shell. That could be something interesting to try as a variation, and then peel them. So I guess you'd have to do that differently though, because then you'd want to cool them off, like maybe so you could actually peel them without burning your fingers, and then they're not really peak hot anymore to eat them. So like we have a technique in like French cooking where you'll take like truffle shavings and stuff, like just some kind of scraps that you'll have, and you'll just put those on the raw eggs, so the flavor transfers through the shell. So I wonder if you could, and I know you probably wouldn't want to. You'd want to keep the egg flavor eggy, but for another dish, this is where my train of thought's going. Could you take your eggs and simmer them for hard-boiled eggs in a like a curry mix to pre-season the eggs, because you will get some flavor transference through the shell. I don't know. That's more of an out there question than anything. I enjoyed watching this video, though. By the way, I think he did a very quick delivery. He seemed very happy about the food, so I hope you guys like this, and it's worthwhile for all of us here because I'd like to watch him again. That was pretty entertaining for me. Anyways, for this week, I've been Chef James, and you've been you. See you next week.